Hey everyone, and welcome to r/TodayIF edUp, the sub for the idiot in all of us that occasionally decides to show itself. And of course, it is at the worst of times. Now, as usual, I've been searching the sub for the best stories I could find. And this first one, by user/tenderheartedxx, is a real good one, so let's get straight into it. So, this actually happened yesterday, and I'm still shaken up over it. My boyfriend and I decided to visit Zapata Falls in Colorado after taking a social distance virus-style road trip. We saw the waterfall, and it was magnificent. There were tons of people, few of whom wore masks, so we ventured in a side direction. I noticed a very climbable ridge, and trying to be spontaneous, I began to climb. Well, after a few minutes, I was having trouble finding my footing, and looked down to see it would be near impossible to descend. Cue the panicked calls from my boyfriend, who came up after me and told me we needed to get to the top since it would be safer. I'll note at this point, it looked like the top wasn't too far off. Spoiler, we were wrong. As we began our ascent, I tried not to look down or up, as it became apparent this wasn't just a small ledge that would lead to the top of a fall. Nope. We were free climbing a mountain. After about half an hour, I was panicked. My feet slid at every attempt upwards, and I heard the loose rocks I disturbed tumble off. We called 911 from a small flat ledge where we could sit down. The operator was great, and told us if we weren't hurt and could make it to the top, there was a trail. That was encouraging enough to press on. In time, we came to the top. I clung to the jagged rock as wind raced past, while my boyfriend looked for the path. We began to spiral down the mountain, walking diagonally, still looking for this trail. Long story short, we never found the trail, and we spent hours slowly getting to the bottom. At one point, the ground slid, and I skid my leg on a tree trunk. But, all things considered, we made it down with minimal injuries. From there, we walked towards the sound of water, and soon, voices came into the mix. Distant, but clear. Thankfully, we pinned where we were parked and used a compass and map of a location to get us to safety. I cried like a baby when we got to the car. Today I woke up feeling sore in every fibre of my body, but super grateful to be alive. Wow, OP, you got really lucky with that one. Lucky that you could get up safe, lucky there was a trail. And yeah, a true F up. Imagine just climbing for a bit and then realizing, hey, there's no way down. That would be genuinely terrifying, and might stop you climbing random ledges in future. I know that's definitely something I'll be more careful about. And here's the next one, by user/deleted. So I, 17 male, went in for surgery today. I was introduced to the team who would be performing it, which consisted of my surgeon, a couple nurses, and a team of 2 anesthesiologists. 1 male and 1 female. For the purposes of this story, we'll call them Dr. Jack and Dr. Jane. Now, while they were both competent medical professionals, their appearances differed by quite a large margin. Dr. Jack was hot as F. Like, this dude was effing beautiful. A Middle Eastern man who was in his mid-20s to early 30s, with an absolutely amazing bod and gorgeous features. Then there was Dr. Jane, who's about the same age, but she just ain't that good looking. I really hit it off with her, and we were joking around and stuff, and I liked her quite a lot. Now, here comes the F up. I was having pre-surgery nerves pretty bad, and before they took me to the operating room, they shot me up with this absolutely amazing stuff. Like, I was high as frick. And naturally, I was being a bit loose-lipped while I was being wheeled down the hallway. Dr. Jane was pushing the stretcher, and the nurse was walking beside, just chatting with my wasted self. So, I open my mouth loudly and declare, "Man, that anesthesiologist was hot as F." To which the nurse replies, "Who, you mean Dr. Jack?" I confirmed that yes, I did mean Dr. Jack, and the nurse responds, "Well, what about Dr. Jane? Is she hot?" Now, I just kind of sat in silence for a second, and I just started laughing at the idea. My drunk butt just cackled to the operating room at the very idea. Sadly, the doctor was quite hurt, and it was really a flex tape can't fix that kind of situation. Not really the best idea to do that to someone who was literally about to have your life in their hands. Yep, and OP was never seen again. Accident in the operating room. That was it. Never seen again. Never woke up. I mean, hey, I get it, OP. You had some stuff pumped into you, but, yeah, gotta be careful. Gotta watch what you say. Especially when your life is in that person's hand. Treat those people with the utmost respect. I know this happened a while back, and this post means you stayed alive, but I'm still worried. Who knows what these anesthesiologists can do? And here's the next one, by user/Snihin. This happened several years ago, when I first moved to Japan. My Japanese skills were terrible, so I used Google Translate a lot while shopping. Anyway, I was looking for a quick snack, and I saw a small bag that looked like rice crackers. It had a picture of cheese on fish on it, so I thought it was just a unique Japanese flavour. I used Picture Translate, and it said something like, a healthy cheese. Nothing about a cat at all. Well, nothing that translated, that is. So, I bought it, and loved it. I went back a few days later, and bought 2 more packs. I ate 1 or 2 packs a week. Then, one day, my Japanese friend came over to watch a movie, and I offered her a snack. She looked at the package and said, "Do you have a cat?" And I said I didn't. She began to explain that my favourite snack was meant for cats. I was surprised. I told her that they were so delicious. She began laughing so hard. But she tried them and agreed that they tasted pretty good, but told me I could get sick if I kept eating them. Did I stop eating them? No, not right away. Until I found a human alternative. And OP does attach a picture of the snack that he's currently having, and says that the box was almost identical, except this one is a human version, not the cat version. OP says that they couldn't find that one. But I mean, that is also such an easy mistake to make. Like, look at the picture of these cat treats. Those look like something humans would have. Like, I would totally believe that. I'd see that in a store and be like, oh yeah, that's a cool snack, I'll have that. Now, the next 2 stories, guys, word of warning, are going to be a bit icky. Nothing NSFW, everything is absolutely safe for work. But they definitely have a bit of that disgusting factor, which does crop up in this sub quite frequently. I mean, a lot of F-ups aren't clean ones. So let's get straight into this one by user/throwaway TIFUP. Obligatory, this happened pre-quarantine. I'm a woman, I live in a shared 2-bedroom apartment. Now, the layout of my home is a little strange. There's only 1 bathroom, it's next to my roommate's room, and on the other side of the house from me. I drink lots of water, about 10 to 14 glasses a day, because I work out and sweat a lot. This also means that I visit the bathroom pretty frequently. Luckily, my roommate has never been annoyed by this, and she's even laughed as I walked past her door for the 2nd time in an hour. It was all fine and dandy until I started having to work out at night, due to changes in my work schedule. I started needing way more water in the evenings. This meant my bladder would wake me up at ungodly hours, and I'd have to drag myself out of bed, trample through the house, pee, then go back to bed. As you can imagine, this really effed with my sleep schedule. I had trouble going back to sleep after my toilet break, and I'd just toss and turn until my alarm rang. Why not drink less water, I hear you say? Well, I did try that, but it gave me headaches and an itchy throat, which was even worse than the sleeplessness. I thought I was just going to have to deal with my bladder for the foreseeable future, when suddenly I thought of an ingenious solution. I have a small bin in my room I use for makeup wipes, waste paper, and other stuff. I decided to pee in this bin at night, and throw out the trash every morning. None would be the wiser. It was like my personal chamber pot. This worked beautifully for me. At 2 AM, I'd pee into the bin, wipe, and roll back into bed. No walking required, and I was back in bed, asleep, in less than a minute. However, as with most good things, they have to come to an end. I'd gotten lazy about clearing the bin every day. Sometimes I'd leave it for 2 days before throwing it out. It didn't smell too bad to me, but it looked pretty repulsive. Junk and pee floating around in a little bin cauldron. One Friday night, I'd gone out with some friends to a bar. My roommate was with me, and we were all having a great time. I met a cute guy at this bar, and long story short, I invited him home with me. My roommate, being the angel that she is, ordered an Uber for herself as soon as I told her I was taking him home. She wanted to make sure I was safe at ours. The guy and I go back to my room, and we're drunk and fooling around in the dark. He starts kicking off his shoes when he accidentally knocks my bin over. The smell of day-old pee and soggy paper fills the room. "What the F? Is this pee?" he shouts as he feels his socks get wet. I knew exactly what had happened. I'd been blocked by my own put. I started apologizing and tried to help him clean up, but he quickly put on his shoes and shoved past me. My roommate saw the guy leaving as her Uber was pulling up, and she knew something was wrong. She knocked on my door frantically. I obviously couldn't tell her what had happened, so I said I wasn't really feeling too good. She asked if I needed any help, bless her, but I said I'd be fine. I waited for her to go to sleep before mopping up my shame. I'll never pee in a bucket again. On the off chance that the guy who came home with me sees this post, PM me and I'll buy you new socks. Oh my god, OP. With that bin, how could you not predict something could go wrong, even if it wasn't someone else, that you would knock it over? I'm also curious if it was one of those bins with a lid on top, so you didn't see the mess, or if it was just an open little bucket this OP would wake up to every morning with a little bit of pee floating around, some tissues, some other garbage. Oh my god, I don't even want to think of this. This is what I meant by a bit sort of post. It wasn't really too bad. It was funny, and definitely a lesson learned. So, let's get straight into this next one by user/sarcasticprophet. Today I effed up in a way I won't forget. My wife was taking care of our 3-year-old daughter, and I was on daddy duty with the new addition. While I was holding him, cute little guy took a massive blowout poop that escaped his diaper and ran up the back of his onesie. So much so that it seeped through to my shirt and arm. Being the hands-on father that I am, I threw the changing mat down on the floor of the den and laid the little guy down. I got his onesie up over his head without smearing green poop everywhere, and then opened up the diaper. Needless to say, he was covered front and back. I grabbed the package of wipes and attended to his butt and back. Then laid him back down to tackle his feces-covered crotch. Through all of this, our 8-year-old golden mix was nearby, just laying in his usual spot in front of a couch. No big deal. As I got ready to tackle the front side of a catastrophe, I realised I didn't have a diaper and started looking around. The basket we keep the baby supplies in was fresh out, so I jumped up and ran to the hallway closet to raid the diaper bag. I was gone maybe 10 to 15 seconds. When I got back, nothing seemed off. I knelt down in front of a kid and picked up another wipe, only to realise there wasn't any poop on his little schmeckle or pebbles. I lifted his legs to inspect further and found zero evidence of the stool smear. It took me about 5 seconds to realise what had happened. The dog had licked him clean. In a slow horror, I turned and looked at the dog. Mouth smacking, the dog just looked right back like nothing happened. I was initially grossed out, but then realised he was just doing his part for the war effort. And this post by user/30 and over 66204 is absolutely amazing. New meaning for poop eating grin. And I couldn't agree more with that one. Oh god, that would have been an interesting one to piece together. I mean, I'm happy your dog was happy to help, but just thinking of it. I know dogs get into some weird things, but still, it's not something you expect. It's not something you think will be a problem, especially in like 10-15 seconds. Oh god, I don't even want to keep thinking about this one. And I think it will be the last one for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel for Reddit videos every second day. That's right, Reddit videos coming up every other day on subs just like this one. Now, with that said, you guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and all I want to do is see you all here next time. See you later, guys.